Hi, beautiful souls. My name is Joe. I'm here to inspire and share in hopes of you creating a better relationship with yourself and with your life. So today's video is going to be about borderline personality disorder, but this can actually apply to like any mental health disorder that you've been diagnosed with that you feel is like kind of holding you back, because it certainly did that for me. I was identifying with it so much that I even used it as an excuse to stay addicted to alcohol. I used it as an excuse to keep making myself small to other people. I used it as an excuse to not really heal from my attachment wounds, from my abandonment wounds. And yeah, it was just my identity. I thought this was me because the diagnosis does say personality, like it's very broad, your personality, who you are, and that diagnosis is saying that you are disordered in your personality, which kind of triggers in me the self-hatred response a bit, like, oh, I'm so flawed, oh, I'm so unworthy because I have a disorder in my personality. I'm not really normal, I'm not really worthy to be around here, like I shouldn't really interact with people. And also my psychiatrist, and this is very stigmatizing, said, don't tell to anybody that you have received this diagnosis because people don't really like people with borderline personality disorder. And I was like, oh, so now I should be hiding actually. But no, I'm here to tell you, you should not be hiding. I don't care if you do identify with it. I don't care if you don't identify with it. It's completely up to you. Because at some points in my life, it has been really helpful to have received that diagnosis, because that's why I got into the right therapy. It was like cognitive behavioral therapy. And it was in a group setting. So I was able to learn from a lot of other people who are going through similar problems in their lives. So just so you know, you're not alone. I'm just here to tell you that you are more, so much more than your diagnosis. It seems easy to completely identify ourselves with it, We receive the diagnosis from a highly educated person and we think that's just who we are. But it's not the whole truth. You're still a human being. You still have a soul. You are so much more than this, but you just don't really realize it's that you have this much power in you, maybe. And to me, it was certainly a battle to realize that actually I do have power and I don't have to remain addicted to alcohol. I don't have to withdraw from finding love in my life, because you know what, if you like read the criteria and like difficulty sustaining relationships and all of those things, you will start to think like, oh, maybe I'm not really the person to be in a relationship, and it can just all seem kind of hopeless. But you know what, as somebody who received the diagnosis to somebody who maybe recently received the diagnosis, I'm telling you that things will get so much better if you start really working on yourself. And you can do this through therapy. You can do this. I actually did a lot of healing on my own, I studied attachment styles. I went on YouTube and found videos of people who were also very traumatized, because borderline does come from a traumatized place in our childhood, which kind of makes us a victim when we were children, because we were not even aware of ourselves. Like, this is something we are born into. So yeah, I just kind of started seeing that this disorder was maybe not in my personality even. And this might be a bit controversial, but I just think for most people with borderline, I'm not saying for everybody, but for most people, this was something created in childhood, We kind of evolved as we were supposed to evolve out of this. How could we ever learn to love ourselves? How could we ever learn to securely attach to people if all we've seen is very traumatic stuff in our childhood? Like, it's not possible. It's a normal reaction, It's so normal, actually. So don't be putting this on yourself. Don't hate yourself because you have this diagnosis, like I did, I did hate myself for a really long time because of this. And actually, if you really think about it, people with borderline have a great talent. And you know why we have great talents? We are usually very attuned to other people. We often feel what they are feeling. we get overwhelmed by feelings, you know. We can be very compassionate if we're in a good mind space. At least I know I can. I was a bit more of the quiet type, maybe you would say, but I knew that there was a power in this. And this is also what I'm learning in college. Like, every disorder has a superpower. Think about people who have autism, who are very great oftentimes at organizing things, who are very great at laying out a structure, often good at mathematics sometimes as well. You have very intelligent people who have autism, like it doesn't really matter. ADHD, we are often very creative. We are very energized. We are good at like going from one task to the next and very excited usually. Another example of a mental disorder, people with psychosis are also very creative, and they're usually very kind people. Actually, I've met a lot of people who have psychosis because I'm very interested in psychosis and people who have had it, because I think they're the most amazing kind people to ever be alive. They have conquered real fears, you guys. They have been in a world that is often very negative, and nobody who could ever relate to them because people were not living in their reality at that time, you know. It's so inspiring, and people grow out of mental disorders all the time, you know. I believe in you. If I can do this, you can pretty much also do this, okay? I'm not in your shoes, but I will say that there is a possibility to grow out of this. And not to say that it won't be a part of you forever, but your view on yourself is the most important thing here. You know, like I could think like, oh no, I'm disabled. Like, no, I'm not. I'm honestly not. I just needed to be heard. I just needed to be seen. I needed to be understood. And you know what? If the world cannot give it to me, then I'm going to give that love to myself. So to me, self-love was really the key to battling all of this. And I'm going to make a video in the future about self-love and my journey with that. So yeah, the main takeaway of this whole video is that you are so much more than your diagnosis. Please don't believe any stigma about borderline. Don't think you're a bad person. Whatever anybody else has to say about borderline does not have to apply to you. And if you are working on yourself, you're doing the best you can. And if you continue that work, I promise you, one day you will be able to kind of not really think about the diagnosis anymore. You will see yourself more as like an individual with talents and qualities. You have an amazing superpower. Don't forget that. Sensitive people are very important in this society, okay? You are able to do great things. I don't care. You are able to do great things. It doesn't matter whatever mental illness you have, there's always a superpower in it. Thank you for watching this video.